Imagine yourself on the beach in 1940, with the fierce advance of German war machine closing in. Tired, outnumbered, and with your back against the sea, with no way out, trapped and surrounded by German force in front land, and rival fighter aircraft in the air, mercilessly bombing the beach and turning down the warship into ashes that was sailing towards your aid. Hello, namaste, and welcome to my YouTube channel. In the chapter of history, there are moments that define heroism. Moments when ordinary people become extraordinary. Today on this video, we will visit such historic moment, the Dunkirk Evacuation, tales of ordinary people becoming extraordinary. The Dunkirk, tales of courage and sacrifice. Introduction. Dunkirk is a coastal town in northern France that faces the English Channel. The English Channel is a body of water that separates southern England from northern France. During the World War II, British and French soldiers were stuck on a beach in France, surrounded by the German army and sea on the back. But question is, why they were stuck on the beach of Dunkirk? How do even they got there in first place? Background. In September 1st, 1939, after Germany's invasion of Poland triggered the start of World War II, prompting the United Kingdom and France to declare war on Germany 2 days later. This invasion led to the partition of Poland between Germany and the Soviet Union. You can check my previous video on World War series about how World War II started. In April 9, 1940, Germany extended its military campaigns by invading Denmark and Norway, aiming to secure strategic sea routes and ports in those countries. After Nazi Germany invaded Poland in 1939, the British sent in troops to defend France. However, as Nazi Germany moved forward into Belgium and the Netherlands, their next targets were France and Belgium, nations with a proud history, but ill-prepared for the sheer violence and precision of the German blitzkrieg tactics. In May 10th, German blitzkrieg attacked on the Netherlands. The Dutch defenders retreated towards the west, and on May 12, Queen Wilhelmina and her government departed for England. The following day, the Dutch army surrendered to the Germans. The invasion of Belgium also began on May 10. On May 11, the Belgian front was broken, and German tanks ran on westward
and stem the flanking and pincer movements of the wily Germans. The motorcycles bring up machine gunners for the opening of the attack.
While Belgian, French, and British divisions fell back to a line between Antwerp and Namur. In May 1940, the Allies made a near-fatal error. The Franco-German border was defended by a series of barriers and weapons called the Maginot Line. But the area to the north was only blocked by a forest. The forest was thought to be too thick to require heavy defense, but the Germans found a way through.
All to the techniques of blitzkrieg.
They marched around back of Allies in France and forced them over into Belgium, where they were faced with more Germans to north. Only option left was to retreat to Dunkirk, where they could be taken back to England. Operation Dynamo. In an effort to at least evacuate some of the troops, just before 19.0, on the 26th May, Winston Churchill ordered the start of Operation Dynamo, which was planned by Vice Admiral Bertram Ramsay. Day 1, May 27, 1940, first full day of Operation Dynamo. One cruiser, a destroyer, and 26 other craft was shipped for the evacuation. However, the sky was blazed with the sound of Luftwaffe, German aircrafts, and attacked and bombed the rescuers. But there was something else written on the story. 16 squadrons of the RAF, British aircraft, tore up on the sky that day, blazing fire from the mouth and hunted 38 Luftwaffe while losing 14 aircraft. Total 7,669 troops were rescued on that day despite the great effort.
Then the Luftwaffe tried to smash British ports and industry.
To May 28, Tuesday. Belgian army, on the other hand, surrendered to the Nazi force. The loss were of greater extent for British on previous day. Soldiers on the beach were tried and feared with life and death with hundreds of bomb-roaring rival aircraft over their head boot. As they say, when nothing favors, God have its own story to write. The coastline of Dunkirk was filled with cloud and fog, favoring the evacuation more effectively. Total 17,800 for troops were rescued on that day.
A heavy and dense fog rolled across and covered the entire channel. It was not the season for fog, and no instance of it had been recorded before. Under the cover of this heavy fog, British ships crossed the French Channel, and the German subs and warships did not detect them.
Day 3, May 29, Wednesday. Luftwaffe roared back on the sky, favoring in more number than RAF. They dropped 15,000 high explosive and 30,000 bombs, wrecking harbor and ship. The British destroyer Am's grenade and French destroyer Mistral was sinked along with other ship. Total 47,310 troops were returned at the end of the day. Day 4, May 30, Thursday. Bad weather made difficulty for Luftwaffe. Defensive lines were being shrunk by German army. German panzers were withdrawn from Dunkirk as the coastal area was marshy to get on panzer. Total 53,823 troops were rescued on May 30. The evacuation was by no means straightforward. Before long, the harbor became partially blocked by ships sunk during the constant raids from enemy aircraft. It became necessary to take the troops off the nearby beaches, an almost impossible task because of shallow water which prevented large ships from coming in close to shore. Small ships were needed to ferry the troops from the beaches to the larger ships.
Plowing between the big ships and the shore.
Day 5, May 30 on Friday, the biggest day of Operation Dynamo, the little ship of Dunkirk. The sun was dipping below the horizon. The German army was enclosing as each day was passing by. Despite the warship being sent for help was being turned into ashes by the Nazi bomb diving aircraft. There was no hope of rays on the eye of soldiers to return back home. Everything was about to dusted and done. It was all about time that they will be torn down by a bomb and will be washed away by waves. But on same time, far away along the horizon, something shines brighter, rushing with great speed towards the shore of Dunkirk. It was a boat of common fishermen of the Farland. The flag of Britain was waving higher with the wind of east. Soon large number of civilians with their ordinary boat was sighted, roaring their old engine, waving their hands in air. The soldiers on the shore, with enemy fire overhead, waved back with louder cheer and terror of joy. They punched the air on happiness. They welcomed the common people as if they were their own parents, rescuing them on troubles. Total 68,014 troops were rescued on that day. On the following day of Operation Dynamo, 62,429 troops on June 1st, 26,256 on June 2, 27,746 troops on June 3rd, and 26,175 troops on the last of Operation Dynamo, June 4th, were rescued. Despite being trapped by German forces on the beaches of Dunkirk, over 330,000 British and French soldiers were successfully evacuated to Britain. This was a remarkable feat, and it saved a significant portion of the British Expeditionary Force. And the story of ordinary people becoming extraordinary, and the tales where hundreds of soldiers safely returned back to their home.